Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, click the little bell so you can get notified every time I post. If you guys don't know, I was recently on a show called FBoy Island. It's on HBO Max. So if you haven't watched it, you probably won't be able to relate to this video. So you should go watch that. We are doing a Q&A, so I'm answering all the questions I put on my Instagram for you guys to ask me a bunch of questions, and here I am to answer them. So without further ado, let's just jump in. Some of you guys asked some wild questions, so I don't know if I can get to all of them. But first question, who's the closest cast member you're closest to? I would say I'm definitely closest with the girls. We just built this really nice bond, and I'm really grateful for that. Because I know on reality shows, girls can get really catty and mean. And so we kind of set out in the beginning to be like, yo, if we like the same guy, let's just put it all out on the table and figure everything out from there. And we always said we're gonna put each other first before the guys. So it's really nice. We had this kind of power dynamic. We weren't gonna let a guy come in between us. How much of the show is pre-planned scripted? The show is not pre-planned at all. I mean, obviously the writers have an idea of how they want it to pan out at the end as far as certain twists that could happen, but they're kind of writing as we go because they don't really know what's gonna happen. Some crazy thing might pop off, and then next thing you know, they have a whole different story that they can do at the end. So it's really it's not scripted, but we do kind of fall into a character. For example, Mercedes is playing the villain the whole time. I'm playing the sweet, girl next door. It's our own personality, I guess, on steroids, but it's not scripted. Are you and Mercedes still together? I know. I knew I was gonna get this question. We're taking a break right now, but Mercedes and I had such a passionate connection from the beginning, and I still care about him a lot. Things just got really intense really fast, and I think we kind of needed a break from everything. And especially after seeing the interviews online, I mean, I hadn't seen that side of him at all. So I was watching it back with him, and I'm just I had no idea. He didn't even give me a heads up that he was playing such a villain, such an F-boy. So that definitely, I mean, it made me feel some type of way. And I know it's a happy ending at the end of the day, but it just made me feel is this really your plan? What was the toughest thing you had to do? Get those shorts off. I know you guys saw the scene. There was literally the scene where I was on my 24-hour date with Mercedes, and I could not get these damn shorts off. And they were these super, super tight shorts. Karina, who's in charge of wardrobe, she was no, wear them. They're super cute, Daisy Dukes. And I was oh yeah, okay, let's do it. Little did I know, we're going on a hike, and I didn't know about what our dates were before we got there. So I'm okay, I get there and we're in the middle of a hot desert. I'm sweating, and then we have to get in the water, and they're filming us taking off our clothes to get in the water, and I cannot get these shorts off to save my life. And Mercedes comes over and he's trying to help me, and I'm trying not to say anything because I'm I don't want them to put this in the video. But I didn't realize by not saying anything it made it even more comical, so they put it in, and that was very embarrassing. But the toughest, if we're gonna be real, I mean, obviously making the decision at the end, because I had a nice guy and an F-boy, and I had a deeper connection with the F-boy. But I had a nice guy, and I knew that he was a nice guy, and I didn't want to screw him over. And so that was definitely the toughest decision, because Benedict is a really, really great guy. We just didn't have enough time to really get past that surface level connection. Oh my gosh, all these questions are are you and Mercedes still together? Where are you and Mercedes living? He lives in Dallas. I live in Miami. I've never been to Dallas. He's come to visit me in Miami a few times. How did you feel rewatching what Mercedes used to say about his easy strategy? That was the thing that pissed me off the most. It's I don't know, he tells me that they took the clip from something else, but when I'm sitting there and I'm watching us kiss for the first time, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, this was our first kiss, it was cute, and then he's saying it was that easy. I mean, imagine. I was furious. I'm hello, that totally makes me look like a bimbo. No, I got so mad. Is there hope that you you and Mercedes will get back together. I don't know at this moment. Like, it's really hard because we're long distance and I don't have plans to move to Dallas. I'm thinking about moving to LA actually. So at this point, I mean, if we can make it work long distance. What was your favorite girl moment? Middle fingers up, ladies. My telemarketer voice doing the middle fingers up, ladies, that was like so fun. Honestly, like anytime it was just the girls and Nikki, like we had such a fun time just shooting and just like playing around and listening to Nikki joke around. I mean, we just had a lot of fun. I think it was also really nice because like at eliminations, when the guys would start talking back to like one of the girls, we would like chime in, and I think that was really cool because like we'd be like, wait a minute, but you said that to me, or like, you're not making sense, you're not gonna do my girl like that. So it was just like a lot of teamwork. Favorite Mercedes moment? I think definitely our 24-hour date. That waterfall was just beautiful, and I'd never been to anything like that, so it was just like ethereal and I loved it. But also that night, just like seeing him open up a little bit more. I don't know, I just had such a good time that day. What was the most awkward moment not caught on tape? Okay, you guys. So I think it was episode 2 or 3, we had a dance recital where we had to learn a dance. Maybe it was later. It might have been like 5. Anyway, so we had to learn a dance. It was when all the new guys came and I was practicing the dance. Everything was good. They were like, wow, Louise, like you really got the dance down. Like, I'm surprised. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I took dance lessons. Like, I've taken them all my life. Like, I'm like a dancer or whatever. And then literally we get up on the dance floor. They're like, okay, so now you have to like swap out each guy and just keep doing the dance routine over and over again. I kid you not, I literally forget the whole entire routine. I'm standing up there and I'm like having a panic attack. My shoes are slipping on the floor. I like run off stage and start bawling my eyes out because I'm just like, I can't remember the dance. My shoes are slipping. Like at this point, I'm on camera. Like I don't know what to do. And I just like cracked and I was like marking out the dance routine on the sidelines and everyone's just standing there like, and the guys were really sweet about it. Like they were like cheering me on and everything. They were like, yeah, come on, Louise, like you got this. But it was very embarrassing. It was super, super embarrassing. And then the whole camera crew, like, I'm like, oh my God, is this gonna be in the show that I'm like having a mental breakdown? Super embarrassing. Did you ever feel bad for Benedict? I mean, yeah, of course. Like I had a connection with him and I had to make a decision, and it sucks because he really is such a nice guy and he's super funny and we did click really well. They didn't show a lot of the other scenes where we like clicked a little better. Like there were moments where he brought me to his room and I was like trying on his clothes and it was just like cute like boyfriend girlfriend type moments that they didn't include. I think it's because everyone already fell in love with Benedict on camera, so they were like, we can't make them fall in love with him anymore. How has it changed your life? I think the biggest thing is it made me realize how much I can pack into a day. Because we were filming from 6 a.m. We would wake up and then we'd stop filming at like 2 a.m. So, I mean, there were days where I was just like literally brain dead and we had to film and we had to, you know, keep going, push through. And that's why literally anybody who talks shit can just be quiet because the filming days were so long. Mind you, I'm adjusting to like a new climate. Like it was rough. And people act like it's like it's not easy to be on camera all the time. Even when you like think about your day, you're feeling your worst. Like I'm like on my period, like I'm feeling like shit and I have to be on camera? Really? And you expect me to be 100% perfect? Yeah, no, it's not happening. But yeah, it made me realize how much I can pack into a day because now I have no excuse to not fulfill my day to the fullest. Do you wish you took the 100K? Low-key, no. No, I don't wish I took the 100K. I don't think it would have made sense for my storyline because, you know, I had a nice guy and an FBoy and a reformed FBoy, and I had connections with both of them, so it wouldn't have made sense for me. Who was the nicest FBoy? Definitely Kian. Kian had us all fooled. Kian was like the sweetest, like Southern hospitality type of guy. He was so, so sweet. And the only reason I knew like deep down that he might be an FBoy is because he's a Q and my ex is a Q and they're dogs. Like that's literally what they are. So yeah, but he was very sweet. With being on FBoy Island, what advice would you give to the girls out in the world? Don't kiss on the first date. I'm telling you, if I wouldn't have kissed Mercedes that first night, I think things would have gone very differently. Because as soon as I kissed him, then I was just like, I was like obsessed and I couldn't see straight. But I would just say be yourself and follow your heart. I think that's like the biggest superpower you can have. When you walk out the door in the morning, no one else in the world is like you. Like nobody else can compare to you. So I think that's just like the coolest thing. So all the little like quirky things that you do, like that little like mole that you have on your arm that you hate, the way your mouth moves when you talk. Like I was so critical about my appearance on the show, but I'm realizing like, no, it's a superpower. Like nobody else is me. And so when you walk out the door, I think that's just like the thing you have to remember is like what makes you different is what makes you cooler. Okay, do you get paid anything for being on the show other than the prize money? Yes. I can't tell you how much, but I did get paid to go on the show. Do you have to bring your own wardrobe or was a stylist provided? So we had a stylist, Karina. Shout out to Karina. She had us looking so fly every day. I brought my own stuff. I spent like $1,500 on clothes from Revolve, mostly dresses, but Karina dressed us in our like daytime chic outfits. So like the shorts and the crop tops. And then she also dressed us in the like gowns. I had no gowns. Mia's done pageants and stuff, so she had like all these gowns and jumpsuits and everything. I had zero. So, you know, Karina and I were on Fashion Nova looking up gowns and stuff. Like we made a couple orders. But yeah, she's the plug. But we literally had to get everything approved. So like the day of, we would just take a bunch of pictures of us trying things on and then she would send them into like the team to see if they were approved. And we had to be approved as a bunch. So like Mia, Tamaris, and I all had to match as a group. How did you get chosen to be on the show? They reached out to me on Instagram and yeah, it just went from there. But through my Instagram DMs. Check your DMs. How do you feel about Nico or Casey? I love Nico. He's so sweet and he's like really... He's not, I wouldn't say he's a nice guy though. Like I've definitely seen a little like a different side of him, but he's not an FBoy, but I would say he's like on the verge. But no, Nico's super, super sweet and he is very funny. He's always joking around and like he really is like the life of the party. When he came down for the finale and everything, he's like always making the plans and making sure all the guys are good. Casey, I am not a big fan of Casey and I'm not really gonna get into it, but yeah. Are you okay watching yourself hook up on TV? That was the most awkward thing ever. Like I closed my eyes the first time I watched it, but I watched it a second time and it got better. But yeah, it was definitely cringy. Especially because they had me in there with the whipped cream. Like that's embarrassing. We're just sitting there like, okay, the cameras can go now. Thank you. It's definitely awkward. And you're just like, I mean, I'm trying to make it look hot and everything. And luckily, like, I've modeled lingerie. So, like, I'm like, okay, just treat it like a music video or something. Yeah, it was definitely awkward to watch. Do you ship Mia and Peter? I love both Mia and Peter. Together, I don't think that they really work as well, but I love them both. They're both really great people and they care about each other a lot. I'm happy that they were able to have that like happy ending. Is whipped cream always on the first date? First of all, that is not our first date. Second of all, it's like the 5th date. And if I want to bring out the whipped cream, I'm gonna bring out the whipped cream. Why did you choose Mercedes over Benedict? Okay, you guys. So Mercedes and I had a deeper connection, like we just did. And Benedict, I didn't really have enough time with to establish that because I was always with Mercedes. And you guys didn't even get to really see it, but I had a lot of time with Nick too. So I'm like juggling these 3 guys and Benedict, I mean, he low-key got the short end of the stick. So I don't know, like I wonder if I had more time with Benedict, like how it would have gone, but I don't regret my decision. So what did you spend your money on? I have not spent my money yet. I actually haven't gotten paid yet. So I'm waiting on that. If you had to choose different final 2, who would have made the cut? Like completely different final 2? I don't even know. I mean, those were like my 2 running guys the whole time. And then I had Nick. So I feel like, I don't even know who I would have chosen. It was always Mercedes and Benedict. Do you and Benedict still talk? Yeah, we do. I think we're pretty good friends now, thankfully. How long were you guys really on the island? We were there for like 8 weeks. So we got there and we had to like quarantine for a little while. So it was like a week that we spent in a hotel, and then we started filming, and then one of the executives got COVID. So we had to quarantine a little while longer, and then it postponed everything. So I think I left on like January 25th and I came back on like April 9th or 10th. So we were there quite a while. Even if Benedict was sexual behind closed doors, would he have compared to Mercedes? So the thing about Benedict and I is that every time, it wasn't even about being sexual. Like, obviously that's a key component to a relationship. It's very important to me, but I understand it's not important to everybody. Believe me, I've seen the tweets. Benedict and I also had trouble talking about serious things. Like, we had trouble having serious conversations about things, like about life and about, I don't know. I mean, they cut out some of our conversations, like we talked about like our insecurities and everything. But when it came down to like intense conversations about relationships, I just felt like we didn't really click. But I think that's just how he is on camera, because I've seen other sides of him off camera and he's a little bit different. So I don't know. Were you in love with Mercedes by the end? I wouldn't say I was in love. No, I was definitely infatuated with him, but I mean, not in love. Do you guys talk about families, deeper things, and it just gets cut out for privacy? Yes. There were multiple conversations I had with Benedict and Mercedes about family stuff, and they didn't put that in there, and I think it's, yeah, definitely for privacy purposes. But yeah, we definitely talked about other stuff. Like, everybody painted my character, I mean, my edit, I feel like my character was like, seemed so shallow, and like I cried at everything, but we had like other conversations that were funny and serious, and then like there were multiple different instances that were cut out of the show. Do you and Mercedes want to get married and have kids? I don't think we're getting married right now, but he is, you know, I feel like him and I have some things to figure out on our own before we can really get back together and make things work. What's your natural hair color? The blonde looks so natural, but the curls make me think otherwise. My natural hair color is blonde and it's curly, but I got a keratin treatment, so now it doesn't curl anymore. RIP. But yeah, my natural hair color is blonde, like this. Ashy blonde, and then I get little highlights like baby lights. Did Tamaris know in the end she could take all the money herself, so she played an F-girl? No, that was totally a thing last minute at the end. Like, we had no idea we could take all the money, and Tamaris like joked about it a couple nights. Like, I remember she was kind of debriefing for the night, and she was like, I just want to run away and we just leave the island just single. And one of the producers was like, yeah, we could talk about that. And I'm like, wait a minute, how is that gonna work? So she didn't play up being an F-girl at all. Like, she's an F-girl. You and Tamaris belong together. Aw, I love Tamaris. Yes, we do belong together. That's my soulmate. Where do you get your brows done? I do them myself. They're blonde. So like, I literally just put brow gel on them, like tinted brow gel. But I have really long eyebrows, so they get a little weird looking sometimes. Are you and Mercedes actually, okay, seriously? Okay. What was your favorite date activity? Ziplining, definitely. I have always wanted to go ziplining. It's been on my bucket list for as long as I can remember. So that was so cool to cross that off my bucket list. And Nick was like such a good person to go ziplining with, because he was always like, he was just like down for an adventure. And so I think we just had such a fun time. I think Mercedes probably would have like shit his pants. And Benedict would have screamed at the top of his lungs for sure. Did you style, glam yourself? Hair and makeup was serving every time. Thanks, girl. No, we had hair and makeup. Shout out to Sharif and Sharon. They got us right. We had glam 3 times a day. So my hair was fried when I got back, but yeah, they had us looking spiffy as fuck. No questions, but kind of disappointed. It's okay, you'll learn from your mistakes. You're young. I'm sorry, who are you? Look, everyone wants to have an opinion and say that I'm stupid because I chose the F-boy. Literally, you guys can go talk about it amongst yourselves, because I don't care. Why did they bring back Garrett? Garrett is like the ultimate F-boy. So I don't know, I guess they brought him back to run Limbro. But I mean, he came back and stirred some shit up. I told him he had to go because he was stirring things up with Peter, and it got way too heated. And then he started trying to come at Tom. That's when, no, okay, so Peter, okay, whatever, they had season 1 together. As soon as he started coming for Tom, I was like, oh no, buddy, you gotta leave. Like, for real. He came at Tom's journal. What was the guy's bathroom like in that mansion? Looks like it would be brutal. It was definitely brutal. When we walked past the bathroom, because we had to go down to the dressing room, and you would walk past like the sewer tank or whatever, it was like outside. That thing smelled so bad. Like, I almost threw up because it smelled so bad. Like the green, we called it the green room, but Nikki called it the brown room because it smelled horrific. Yeah, when you have 30 guys in a house together, I'll let you do the math. Why did you keep giving Mercedes second chances knowing bad things about him? Okay, people warned me about him on the show, but it's like the side that he showed me was totally different and I didn't see his interviews. So when you guys are watching this, you're seeing how he's just like a horrible guy from the beginning. So that's like your first impression of him. I didn't have that as my first impression. I have this smiley, sweet guy who is not an F-boy. Like, I mean, I don't know if he is at that time. So like first impressions are everything, and I think it really shapes the way that you see the person. So I don't really think it's fair. You guys are seeing a totally different Mercedes than I'm seeing throughout the show. Did you have any interaction with your family and friends while being on the show? No, I could not even have my phone. So they took our phones as soon as we got to the island, and we couldn't have our phones at all or contact anybody. But my grandma actually passed away while we were filming. I was able to call my family when that happened, but that was a really sad thing. Oof, that was right before my camel date, and I had to go on the camel, and I was just like crying over my grandma. It was really heavy. Was it awkward kissing while being on camera? No, I didn't mind kissing on camera. It was awkward doing other things, but like kissing, I was like, I wonder if I look good. But I'm looking back, like I didn't look bad, but I think I definitely forgot the cameras were there. Like, for example, on my date with Mercedes for the butt molds, we definitely were making out for like 10 minutes straight, and they didn't even put it in there. Do you regret any decisions you took looking back on the footage? I wish I would have cut into Nikolai a little bit more. I feel like I was a little easy on him. I wanted to make sure I understood what he was saying and that he understood why I was upset. And I feel like when I'm dealing with someone that I just know is just not all there, I'm sorry, Nikolai, but that whole scene was just epic because of the way they convinced him to tell me that, and the way he told me. He's like just saying, oh yeah, I called you a dumb blonde today. Like, who says that? So like when I already knew, I was just like, this is not even worth getting super upset about. So let me just explain to him why that is an issue. So I don't know. I feel like looking back, like watching it, I let him off a little bit easy. So maybe like going back, I wouldn't let him off so easy. Where did you and the girls get those gorgeous dresses, and did y'all coordinate fits? So yeah, I kind of already answered this, but yeah, we had to get all of our fits approved beforehand, like as a bunch, and we got our dresses. Karina got some of them, and then the other ones I bought from Revolve. I mean, Tamaris brought her own and Mia brought her own, so we kind of had them from everywhere. But I mean, a lot of them were from Fashion Nova, Giovanni, Zara, and then Revolve. Not FBoy Island related, but can you drop the skincare routine? I got you, girl. I'm making that video next. Did the guys decide their F-boy nice guy status, or did production based on interviews? So I think, okay, I don't know, but I think based on the interviews, they kind of decided. So, I mean, Mercedes, like, I think the guys could have come in as anything in the beginning, and then just the way that they acted in the house and in the villa and everything determined whether they were a nice guy or an F-boy. Sorry, some of these are duplicates, so I'm just like scrolling. I'm very curious about the final prizes. Is that real or fake? No, it's real, and I better get my check. Hold on. I mean, shoot, I haven't gotten my check yet, so maybe it is fake, but I hope not. Was Tom really that weird? Oh my gosh, no. Tom is such a sweetheart. He's literally such a solid guy, and I feel so bad that he like is painted as this big like teddy bear that just cries all the time, because that's not who he is. But of course, like, you know, production can make that into a character. So when he does cry, I mean, he did cry. Like, all of those things were genuine tears, but there was context to it. How long were the dates? The dates lasted like all day. Like, we had, like, when we would go on a date, we got up that morning, we would have interview, and then we would go to the boys' house, pick them up for the dates, and then the dates would last. I mean, we'd get back at like 8 p.m. So they really lasted like all day. We need a reunion episode. Yes, we do. Talk to HBO, because we need a reunion. I'm down for that. Were you worried when Mercedes stayed upstairs for the elimination? Yes, but I was also just like pissed off. I'm like, why isn't he here? Like, this is making me look stupid then if I pick him and he's not even here. Like, that's a flex that he doesn't deserve. So I was just like, what is going on? But I guess he actually was sick, so let me stop being a bitch. But he wasn't even sick. He was hungover. So I'm like, he gets to skip his whole speech. That speech was about to make or break him, and he didn't even have to give it. So I hate that. That actually like I feel like he got a hall pass. Is FBoy Island staged at all? Okay, you guys, no, it's not staged. It's not. It is genuine interactions, but you have to remember we're on an island to get to know everybody, so we're all looking for a connection. So like, we're gonna try and find a connection. It's not like the real world where you're like, oh, let's just get some drinks and like whatever happens happens. No, like everyone there is looking for a connection because otherwise they're going to be kicked off the island. What's your sign? I'm a Capricorn and Mercedes is a Leo. Check the compatibility. I don't even know. Did Mercedes really switch up or was he saving face? This is what pisses me off because he told me I always was gonna split it, but then on a Twitter space, like we were on this like Twitter Spaces thing, and he was like, yeah, well, I didn't want to look like Garrett, and like I knew he was getting like hate mail after that, so you know I chose to split the 100K. And I'm like, wait a minute, so you chose to split it because you didn't want to look like a bad guy. Okay, cool. And I got so mad at him, but then he said it later in another interview and he like corrected it, but whatever. So I don't really know. You'll have to ask him. Where did you get your finale outfit? My finale outfit, that was from Alice and Olivia. Yep, that dress, the sequin dress, Alice and Olivia. All right, you guys. Oh my gosh, those are all the questions. All right, you guys. Well, that concludes this video. If you guys have more questions, you can DM me. I answer, I reply. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you guys haven't watched FBoy Island, go watch it right now. It's super fun and just like a parody reality show. It's just like very entertaining. So go check it out and follow me on my socials. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my other videos.